Hello and good morning, my friends. This is a little impromptu my book of Bible story reading. Yeah, I thought that would be fun. Now let me get that up on the screen for you. Look at that. Is this bringing back any memories for people? Now this picture, I have to say, I don't think that's a picture that I am accustomed to. Oh, by the way, hi, I'm Ryan. And I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness. And my book of Bible stories was one of my favorite things to read as a kid because it's one of the few things that you're allowed to read as a Jehovah's Witness. And they tout this book is in, I forget how many languages. I could probably read it somewhere in here. But it's in almost every language you can think of. And children who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses have this book. I have done tons of videos on the stories inside the book of Bible stories. And people who are not even Jehovah's Witnesses have commented and said, oh my God, I'm Catholic and I have that book. I'm Presbyterian and I have that book. I'm not religious and I had that book as a kid. Isn't that interesting? I think it's just, sadly, I believe people see it as a well-constructed book. And I mean, it's a book. It does have all the stories in it, or a good bit of biblical stories. But does that mean it's made for children? Because we put things in little cartoon picture forms? Does that change the fact that Dinah got assaulted? Or the fact that Jephthah's daughter got burned up? That Jephthah's daughter got offered as a sacrifice? No. It's still bad shit. It doesn't matter if it's in cartoon form. That's why, like, 5-year-olds don't watch Rick and Morty. Okay, maybe there are some people who let their kids, but generally speaking, right? Like, if you're 5 years old, you probably don't watch Rick and Morty, even though it's in cartoon form. I'm just talking to myself. So let's start reading one of my, I say favorite, but one of my favorite books, one of my favorite stories, which is Dinah Gets into Trouble. Now, just give me a second. I'm going to find it here. I don't know. Does it say here how many languages? How do I zoom out? Pardon me, y'all. I got to figure out what I'm doing here. Let me just take a look, see if it says how many languages anywhere up here. No. Okay. Doesn't matter. Let's find Dinah. We'll look at a paradise. Oh, did I scroll past it? No, not yet. The numbers don't match up to in my actual physical book. That's Lot. Oh, we could do Lot next because that's a great story. There she is. It's Dinah. It's Dinah. Well, it looks kind of washed out in this picture. She looks better here. I don't know why that picture's a bit washed out. Weird. Jay! Hey, good morning to you. What are you up to this morning? I am going to read some Bible stories for children because these are really good for kids. You should go get your kids and let them listen to this because they're really going to learn an important lesson about being a woman and how you should behave as a woman. Okay, here we go. Let me get to the words. Okay, so now you've seen the picture. Let me just introduce you to these people because some people might not know who this is. Can we make that bigger? Ah, there we go. So this is Dinah that you see on your left. Good for you. Stay in bed. Stay in bed. Can you hear me okay? I hope you can hear me okay. It's nice to be in bed on a Sunday and not have to get up and go to the Kingdom Hall or go out in service. So freedom. So Dinah is on your left. On the bottom right are her 3 friends that live in Canaan. And to the right is the person who assaulted Dinah. And his name is Shechem. 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 His name is all throughout the Bible. And to be fair, I believe this story was just awesome. Thank you, Jay. As a polemic for people to stay away from those in Canaan. They were trying to separate themselves and make their own little community, but you can't just do that. You live in a society. It's like difficult for people like Amish. You still, they are separate, but in a way they're not. They're still part of our society. They still have to, so what's wrong with Dinah associating with people? You still have to trade and do things. Anyhow, hey, look at the trees. Good morning to you. All right, so let's read Dinah and see what happens to Dinah. And let me know if you hear anything that sounds, just a little bit off about who takes the blame in the story of Dinah. All right, let me get the words up here. Is that the right one? All right, Dinah gets into trouble. Can I just make that a little bit smaller so y'all can see the whole? Is that too small? Can y'all still see that? I hope that's okay. I think that's perfect. Hopefully. Come on, just hello. Okay. Misfit Amish? No, but I love the sound of it, so I need to make sure I follow that. Thank you. I will absolutely follow Misfit Amish because I like hearing all about what they practice, the Rumspringer, and there's so much, there's layers. I don't even understand what they believe and how they believe, so I'd like to get to know it. Okay, here we go. Dinah gets into trouble. Do you see who Dinah is going to visit? She is going to see some of the girls who lived in the land of Canaan. Would her father Jacob be happy about this? To help answer this question, try to remember what Abraham and Isaac thought about the women in Canaan. Oh, well, what did they think about the women in Canaan? Let's find out. Did Abraham want his son Isaac to marry a girl from Canaan? No, he didn't. Did Isaac and Rebekah want their son Jacob to marry a Canaanite girl? No, they did not. Do you know why? Do you know how those I'm Canaanite, thank you very much, so eat my asshole. But do you know what those Canaanite girls do? They enjoy their life. Like, what the fuck? Okay. It was because these people in Canaan worshiped false gods. They were not good people to have as husbands and wives, and they weren't good people to have as close friends. If they don't worship the one and true God, they can't be good people. So we can be sure that Jacob would not be pleased that his daughter was making friends with these Canaanite girls. Thank you. Look at the trees. Sure enough, Dinah got into trouble. Can you see that Canaanite man in the picture who was looking at Dinah? His name is Shechem. One day, Dinah came on a visit. Shechem took Dinah and forced her to lie down with him. This was wrong. Let's find out why this was wrong. This was wrong because only married men and women are supposed to lie down together. This bad thing that Shechem did to Dinah led to a lot more trouble. Okay. So here we learn that Dinah got into trouble because she was forced to lay down with Shechem. Well, obviously it's Dinah's fault because she shouldn't have went there. Like, as a female, as a woman, as a person, you shouldn't go out alone. You definitely shouldn't go to the bathroom by yourself. You should always go with a buddy. Don't go to a bar. Don't go to a grocery store. You just really shouldn't go places where there could be people. Because these people don't worship. Like you go to Target, I guarantee you they're not all Christians. I bet you there's some freaking apostates there. Okay. So the reason it was wrong is because only married men and women are supposed to lie down together. Not because Dinah was forced. It's just they weren't married. If they were married, it would have been fine. You can force people to do whatever you want as long as you're married to them. When Dinah's brother heard about what had happened, they were very angry. Two of them, Simeon and Levi, were so angry that they took swords and went into the city, caught the men by surprise. They and their brothers killed Sachem and all the other men. Jacob was angry because his sons did this bad thing. Ugh. And this bad thing was all because of Dinah. If she just didn't live her life like a human, like if she stopped being human and just stayed inside the house and made sandwiches, it never would have happened. And I really think that's the valuable lesson that we should take from this. Obviously, I'm being so fucking super sarcastic. So how did all this trouble get started? It was because Dinah made friends with people who did not obey God's laws. We will not want to make such friends, will we? Yeah. So this all got started because Dinah went to Canaan. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. Dinah lived in the land of Canaan. I'm just shaking my camera right now. Dinah was from Canaan. There's this continuous theme of remain separate, be separate. We're from here. We're not from here. No. Y'all live in the same apartment complex. Sorry to burst your bubble. You weren't given any special land from God. No. Everybody's neighbors. You all lived there from inception. You weren't special. You weren't separate. You too lived in Canaan. So as much as they try to make them some kind of separate people, it's not how it happened. So why don't we look up Genesis? So if y'all aren't familiar in my book of Bible stories, they give you scriptures that you're supposed to look up that goes along with the Bible story. So let me find another tab here and go to Genesis 34:1. Here we go. And I think I can share that. I think. How do I share? Okay, stop sharing this tab. And I need to share screen because I don't know what I'm doing. Share. There we go. So now we have Genesis 34 up here. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, had born to Jacob, went out to visit the women of the land. When Shechem, son of Hamor, the Hivite, the ruler of that area, saw her, he took her and assaulted her. I'm not going to say that word. Assaulted her. His heart was drawn to Dinah, daughter of Jacob. He loved the young woman and spoke tenderly to her. And Shechem said to his father Hamor, Get me this girl as my wife. When Jacob heard that his daughter Dinah had been defiled, his sons were in the fields with his livestock. So he did nothing about it until they came home. Isn't it nice how this is just a really good story for children? You really should sit down and just read your children this story because made for kids. Then Shechem's father Hamor went out to talk with Jacob. Meanwhile, Jacob's sons had come in with him from the fields as soon as they heard what happened. They were shocked and furious because Shechem had done an outrageous thing in Israel by sleeping with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. But Hamor said to them, My son Shechem has a heart set on your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife. Intermarry with us, give us your daughters, and take our daughters for yourselves. You can settle among us. The land is open to you. Live in it, trade in it, and acquire property in it. Then Shechem said to Dinah's father and brothers, Let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give you whatever you ask. Make the price for the bride and the gift I am to bring as great as you like, and I'll pay whatever you ask me. Only give me the young woman as my wife. I love how this is all just about women being property. I'm so glad that they read this to children. Because their sister Dinah had been defiled, Jacob's sons replied deceitfully as they spoke to Shechem and his father Hamor. They said to them, "We can't do such a thing. We can't give our sister to a man who is not circumcised. That would be a disgrace to us. We will enter into agreement with you on one condition only, that you become like us by circumcising all your males. Then we will give you our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves. We will settle among you and become people with you. But if you will not agree to be circumcised, we'll take our sister and go." So this is really, if y'all don't know, and I'm sure you do, but this is all just a trick. They want to circumcise that family of that whole tribe of people. And then when the men are healing, they're going to murk them. They're going to go in there and they steal their women. So once they go and kill the men of the land, then they assault and take the wives for themselves. So this is just like, okay, so something bad happened to Dinah. So now we're going to do the same exact thing to those women. My wine. We're going to go do the same thing to those women. Isn't that how you fix things? You just continuously go back and forth, assaulting each other. Yeah, that seems like it works. All right, these men are friendly toward us. They said, let them live in our land and trade in it. The land has plenty of room for them. We can marry their daughters and they can marry ours, but the men will agree to live with us as one people only on the condition that our males be circumcised. So they agree. They went out to the city of Gate and agreed. Everybody in the city was circumcised. And then 3 days later, while they were all still in pain, 2 of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords and attacked the unsuspecting city, killing every male, right? Like slaughterhouse. Like supposedly 2 dudes were able to kill a whole. Anyhow, these are all just fake stories, but anyhow, they put Hamor and his son Sachem to the sword and took Dinah from Sachem's house and left. The sons of Jacob came upon the dead bodies and looted the city where their sister had been defiled. They seized their flocks, their herds, donkeys, and everything else of theirs in the city and out of the fields. They carried off all their wealth and all their women, all their children, taking as plunder everything in the houses, because children and women are property. And this is a good book for children. Makes me want to vomit. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have brought trouble on me by making me obnoxious to the Canaanites and the Perizzites." Obnoxious. "The people living in the land, we are few in number, and if they join forces against me and attack me, I and my household will be destroyed." But they replied, "Should he have treated our sister like a sex worker?" So he should not have treated his sister as a sex worker. They shouldn't have treated Dinah as a sex worker, but it was okay for Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, to treat a whole tribe of women as slaves, enslaved people, and sex workers, correct? It's just the math that doesn't math, but somehow they think that the math does add up. And it certainly just doesn't, right? Hold on, I'm going to go back to my book of Bible stories here. Back, yeah, there we go. What about all the women that are raped in God's organization? What about all the children abused, mostly girls? Did they go into the world? Exactly. Thank you, Philbo Baggins. That is an excellent point. You are supposed to be protected in God's organization, right? Isn't that they tell you where you are the safest? That is what I was told. I remember thinking that was the safest place for me to be, was in the Kingdom Hall, because nothing could really happen to me there. I understand that was silly now for me to think that, but that's what I was told. And I believed it. I believe that nothing bad, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing like this happen in God's organization, because that's what we're told. We're told that God protects us and his Holy Spirit has been upon us because he chose us. And the truth of the matter is, the reason that women aren't protected inside this organization is because this is the kind of rules that they're going by. women are seen as property. Women are treated like they're prostitutes. We are belongings. We're traded for. They pay for us. I mean, Shechem paid the bride price to have his new wife that he just fell in love. And think about what happened to Dinah in all of this. Was she in on the story? Did she know that she was going to be sent off to this man as a joke? Like, did she know that what she went through was going to be compounded by the fact she'd have to watch her now new husband be slaughtered? And is that what she wanted? I don't know, right? Because she has a baby. Dinah has a baby. And that baby goes, good morning, Pep. Huh? It might be in the bed. I don't have it. Love you. Oh, you did? Thank you. I forget. Sorry, I forget what I was saying. Okay, well, I forget what I was saying. I don't have a rewind feature. Just whatever about women being property and how we're treated. And no wonder that women are treated as property inside the organization and are abused, because they will always be seen as so I was talking about the whole joke with Dinah. She had a baby to Shechem, if you didn't know that. And as the story goes, Dinah supposedly was Job's wife. This is all is it from the Talmud? Shit. Or the Mishnah. Anyway, this is from like Jewish writings, but so there was a baby from this union. Okay. Now I'm that, look, honestly, if I was Dinah, out you go. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Her decision. But now this child, this child's father has just been murdered. And then I believe it's that child that gets married off to her. I have this all written down. Like, I remember who's child. Oh, why don't I just look at it? Girl, I'm sitting here saying I know who's who, but I got the notes. Just go look up who's. Because, yeah, so Dinah's child now gets married off to, I'm pretty sure it's an uncle, Dinah. Let me look. Dinah. Okay, so Job marries Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, which joins him to the house of Israel. This would mean that Job lived between Abraham and Moses. Okay, these are just notes. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I have more. How do I not have? Y'all. Well, I was pretty positive that I have. Wait, hold on. Isaac marries Rebekah, but she's barren. She gives birth to Esau, father of the Edomites. Jacob, the father of the Israelites. Edom was subjugated to Israel under King David. Sorry, I got to read this for a second. While Jacob is on his way to his uncle Laban, fleeing Canaan, he has a dream about a ladder. El tells him he will get the land he's sleeping on, then blesses the stone by anointing it. That's Bethel. It's the cultic pillar. Jacob serves Laban for 7 years to get Leah, the woman he fell in love with, then serves 7 more years because he was tricked. Joseph and Benji are the most beloved of Jacob's children. Jacob is ready to fight Esau. He comes to a river Yabak. A man wrestled with him and injured his hip. The man would not let Jacob go until he blessed him. Actually, I think that's like a demon or something. After he blessed him, the demon let Jacob go and renamed him to Israel. Then Jacob renamed that place Peniel. This is why they don't eat that muscle or joint. Jacob is born trying to hold Esau's foot. Joseph's brothers sell him to a pharaoh in Egypt. He interprets some dreams, and this This is how he becomes a governor watching over the grain. When Joseph's brothers come to Egypt because of famine, Joseph tricks his family into leaving his only other brother from Rachel behind, which will upset his father Jacob and his mother. The family ends up living in Egypt for a very long time, living prosperous lives. Joseph marries Dinah's daughter. Oh, right. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. I knew it was in here. Joseph marries Dinah's daughter, and I can't remember her name. Oh, I think it starts with an O. I'm surprised it's not in here. Right. So the point of the story is these women are getting the brunt of everything that happens, right? And as it is today, we see it happening today. Not even able to make decisions about our own health, right? About our own bodies. So a pretty sick story that you would narrate this, illustrate it, and think that this is good education for children, which is why I want to read them online, because I want people to see that these are not stories for children. The Bible's not even stories for adults. Should have a warning on it. So what story shall we do next? How about we do Lot's wife? Because that's a good one. That's got to go backwards. Is that working right? Okay. Big screen. Hope y'all can see that. Lot's wife looked back. These are stories all about women. We're going to empower women by showing them the marvelous stories that our Creator has put down here for us. What? Lies. Oh, do y'all care if I start smoking? Good. I'm glad you don't care, because it's going to happen. I'll try to mute myself when I cough. So, Lot's wife looked back. Lot and his family lived together with Abraham in the land of Canaan. One day, Abraham said to Lot, "There isn't land enough here for all our animals. Please let us separate. If you go one way, then I will go another." Lot looked over the land. He saw a very nice part of the country that had water and a lot of good grass for his animals. This was the district of Jordan. So Lot moved his family and animals there. They finally made their home in the city of Sodom. The people of Sodom were very bad. This upset Lot because he was a good man. He was really upset about the place that he chose to live. God was upset too, because God doesn't have control or power, so he just gets mad about stuff. Finally, God sent 2 angels to warn Lot that he was going to destroy Sodom and the nearby city of Gomorrah because of their badness. The angels told Lot, "Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters and get out of here." Lot and his family were a little slow in going, and so the angels took them by the hand and led them out of the city. Then one of the angels said, "Run for your lives, don't look back, run to the hills so that you won't be killed." Lot and his daughters obeyed and ran away from Sodom. They didn't stop for a moment, and they didn't look back. But Lot's wife, she disobeyed. Let me scroll up here so we can continue reading. Lot's daughters obeyed and ran away from Sodom. They didn't stop for a moment and they didn't look back, but Lot's wife disobeyed. After they had gone some distance from Sodom, she stopped and looked back. What a dumb idiot she was. Stupid idiot, dummy. Looking back? Who looks back? I never look back. I've never even turned my head once in my entire life because I don't ever want to look back. I only look forward. I don't even reverse my car, motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I find myself very funny. Okay. After they had gone some distance from Sodom, she stopped and looked back. Then Lot's wife became a pillar of salt. Can you see her in this picture? I need y'all to look at this picture. Like, you really need to just look at that. That's deserved. This is the kind of punishment that we as women deserve for just having thoughts and feelings. And this is really what this is about when you think about it. This is about a woman who lost her family, okay, because it wasn't just her 2 daughters that she lost. There were other children there that she had that didn't make it, friends, family. So she's looking back because she has emotions. I mean, we're just reading into the story here, but you're not allowed to have that. You need to just be quiet and do what's asked of you. We can learn a good lesson from this. It shows us that God saves those who obey him, but those who do not obey him will lose their lives. Okay, I gotta, hold on, y'all. Hold up. I'm gonna mute this so I can take a hit. Pardon me. Oh, that's some good shit. Okay. Thank you all for being patient with me. It's 7:59 here, so it's morning time. I thought I'd wake up and get high and read my book of Bible stories. Okay, so let's talk about this story, because I have to say this is probably one of my favorite stories to dissect, because people think that this is the story. And if they read the Bible, they'll realize this isn't the story. This is not all that happens. There's so much more that happens. So, let me blow my nose. Oh, my lights are on. I'm going to leave them off. I ain't going to lie to you. We're going to leave this early morning broadcast. So, this story gets me right in the old gooch. It gets me in me gooch, because we're going to go back to where the story really started. So the story starts with Abraham. Abraham is approached by angels, and they tell him that God, or is it God himself? It's God himself and angels approach Abraham. So Abraham meets everybody. It's like a party. And God tells Abraham, I probably should pull this up, that, what is it, Genesis 13? God tells Abraham that he's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. But Abraham is like, hey, my nephew? Yes, my nephew Lot lives there. Please don't destroy it. Hold on. I'm finding the story. Abraham rescues Lot. Okay, so at one point, Abraham rescues Lot when he gets kidnapped. And I think it's important to realize this is the whole story of like Sodom and Gomorrah. These people were like ruthless. They were xenophobes. They hated other people. They assaulted other people. They stole from other people. They did really bad things to people. And that was why they were destroyed. But anyway, we're going to get there. Okay, I'm on... Where does God approach Abraham and tell him he's going to destroy. Okay, so this is where Abraham is getting blessed. Here in Genesis 14, this is where Abraham is getting blessed by Melchizedek, which is the most high priest of Salem. Come on, where's the story? Lord's covenant with Abraham. Sorry, y'all. I went with what was in here, but I should have known that it was going to be a hot minute. Okay, covenant of circumcision. No, I don't need all this. Oh, here's the 3 visitors. I apologize. Okay. Oh, here we go. Abraham pleads for Sodom. This is what chapter I'm at. The Genesis 18, verses 16. So if you happen to want to, I guess I could open up. What am I sharing? I should share this scripture. Yes, Hunty, wake and bake. Thank you. And even when I'm not, just keep hitting it for me. It is hidden with subliminal images. And I didn't even know it. That's why I enjoy reading it as an adult, because I'm really seeing what as a child I was being, and as what you were being inundated with, right? Just like you watch cartoons now that you watched as a kid and you're like, I didn't realize they said that. Like maybe something sexual that you didn't get, or something political that you went right over your head. Yeah, the 8 popes of Brooklyn. I just can't stand those guys. Oh, they make me sick. Okay, so stop sharing this tab. I am going to share Genesis 18. That way y'all can kind of read along with me here. Because I think the real story is the real story is actually meaningful. And I could see possibly maybe getting something from it. But the story that they feed to you is like, they really frick it up. Totally frick it up. Okay, I hope y'all can see that. Okay. So when the men got up to leave, they looked down towards Sodom, and Abraham. So this is with everybody has been gathered. Abraham's been blessed. They've done the covenant. Like Abraham's like, I got shit. I'm so cool. Right. When the men got up to leave, they looked down towards Sodom, and Abraham walked along with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do?
Oopsies. I'm going to be a naughty little god.
Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all nations on earth will be blessed through him. Let me close that. For I have chosen him so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him. Then the Lord said, the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin is so grievous, that I will go down and see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know. The men turned away and went toward Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Ay, Dios mío. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right? I got to tell you, Abraham is feeling himself here, right? He really is feeling himself, because he's speaking up to the one in charge. I mean, that's kind of cool. I guess because he's just been blessed. He's got all these trophies and accolades now. He's got land. He's like, let me tell this God some shit, because, I'm kind of smart. Anyhow, the Lord said, if I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake. Then Abraham spoke up again. Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, though I am nothing but dust and ashes, what if the number of righteous is 5 less than 50? Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5 people? Here's my lip balm. If I find 45 there, he said, I will not destroy it. Once again, he spoke to him. What if only 40 are found there? He said, for the sake of 40, I will not do it. Then he said, may the Lord not be angry, but let me speak. What if only 30 can be found there? Okay, so they do this little freaking game of subtract 5. What? There's got to be something hidden to this that I just don't get. Because why? Just why? Abraham said, now that I've been so bold as to speak to the Lord, what if only 20 can be found there? He said, for the sake of 20, I will not destroy it. Then he said, may the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found there? He answered, for the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left, and Abraham returned home. So we have learned that through this conversation, basically what God is saying, if anybody is found righteous, I'm not going to destroy the whole city. Come on. When you start at 50 and you whittle your way down to 10, is it really about the number? Or is it just about not killing everybody to punish a majority, whatever, right? Did I click it? There we go. The 2 angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. My lords, he said, please turn aside your servant's house. You can wash your feet, spend the night, and then go on your way in the early morning. No, they answered, we will spend the night in the square. Okay, so what I need you to understand, or maybe I should wait to explain it. No, I'm going to explain it to you right now. So these cities back in the day, number one, you didn't stay in the city overnight. If you weren't part of that city, you didn't just go to a strange city and stay there. It was dangerous, which was the issue with these cities, is they were xenophobes. And if you even got caught traveling near the city, you were donezo. They were stealing from you. They were assaulting you. It was like pirate. You see what I mean? Like they just steal your shit. So that's why the angels insisted in, whoopsie daisy. That's why the angels insisted on staying in the square, in public, in front of everybody to see what the reaction was. Because that was the problem they were trying to get to. Okay, no, they answered, we will spend the night in the square. But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him, and he entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. Let me read that again. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. So only the men, right? So if there's 10 men there, there's likely 10 women to those men, correct? I mean, we can math, correct? Unless there was only 2 men in the city. But it sounds like there was more than 2 men in the city. All the men and the young boys surrounded it. Okay. I apologize. I kind of go on. They called to Lot, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them. Now, hold up. I actually don't think it's sex. I think it's so we can get to know them. I think that it implies assault, but it doesn't outright say that. I think that's a mistranslation. We're going to move on for right now. If anybody has any questions, I can come back to that and look for a better translation, but I'm pretty sure that it's not the word sex. Let me check and make sure nobody's asking anything. No, nobody's asking anything. Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, "No, my friends, do not do this wicked thing. Look, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But do not do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of our way," they replied. "This fellow came here as a foreigner." Foreigner, like I said, you're not to be a stranger in some cities. Dangerous. "This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them." So what the men are, okay, they kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. So Lot was a foreigner to them, right? So they had accepted him, which was why he was allowed to stay there, but he was still considered a foreigner. He did not have permission to have strangers inside the encampment. I mean, number one, that was dangerous, right? And just think, if there's encampments you shouldn't go to because they'll hurt you, there's people who are travelers that you should not invite into your encampment because they will do the same to you. Like, I get it. You shouldn't hurt other people, but sometimes you want to protect yourself too. So Lot was a foreigner that was welcomed in, and he was being disrespectful. Do you feel me? Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but he was fucking disrespectful. That's why he was insistent on them not staying in the square and being hidden and coming to his house. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but they weren't supposed to be there. That was breaking the fucking rules, and it wasn't cool. Okay. Boop. "Get out of our way," they replied. "This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back in the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old with blindness, so that they could not find the door. The 2 men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry of the Lord against its people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, "Hurry and get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city." But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. I mean, how did they know? If somebody runs up to you and says the sky is falling, generally speaking, you're going to be like, okay, that's a joke. Okay. With the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and of his 2 daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. So here we have 4 people that are righteous. Now, it seems to be that the son-in-laws were righteous because they would have been saved had they just realized it wasn't a joke, if they had heeded the warning. But obviously they didn't know what was happening and thought it was a joke. But technically they were righteous. So, oopsie. When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and of the 2 daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, "Flee for your lives. Don't look back and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away." But Lot said to them, and this is so important, but Lot said to them, "No, my lords, please. Your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life. But I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared." Okay, so he doesn't mention anything about his family. Okay? He talks about, "I have found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness in sparing my life. But this disaster will overtake me. I'll die. Let me flee to it. My life will be spared." Like fucking douche canoe. He don't even care that like all his friends are about to get blasted. Okay. So the angels say, "Very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town that you speak of, but flee there quickly because I cannot do anything until you reach it. That is why the town was called Zoar." So here the angels give Lot permission to not only flee and have his life saved, but to not go into the mountains like he was instructed, but to go to a city that had supplies, food, people. He was given permission to go to the city. Okay. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land, and the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities, and also the vegetation in the land. What did the vegetation and the animals do? They ain't innocent? Sheesh. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. So you are running, right? So say you're running, right? And you feel the heat of hellfire raining down on your back, and you can't look back. The hell? You can't be human? Oi. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land like smoke from a furnace. Because them asses was lit up. Liddy bop. So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. Gets deeper, y'all. Lot and his 2 daughters left Zoar and settled in the mountains, for he was afraid to stay in Zoar. Okay? Lot gets permission to go to Zoar, but then
Lot gets afraid to stay in Zoar.
So he and his 2 daughters lived in a cave. Y'all, insidious. It's insidious. And people have the cojones to tell me
his daughters got him drunk. Humph.
Have you ever heard of perspective? Have you ever heard of one-sided history? The story is told from a male's point of view. Anyway, okay, I got to keep going. My bad. I'm like, ugh, gets me so fucking frustrated, the story. It's just really gross. It's so gross, y'all. He and his 2 daughters lived in a cave because he took them there because he was a pussy. Lot was a pussy. One day, the older daughter said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is no man around here to give us children, as is the custom all over the earth, because our fathers brought us up here into the mountains when there's plenty of dudes down here in Zoar. But anywho, our father is old, and there is no man around here to give us children, as is the custom all over the earth. Let us get our father to drink wine, and then sleep with him and preserve our family line through our father. That night they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and slept with him. He was not aware with it when she lay down or when she got up. Does that sound plausible? The next day the older daughter said to the younger, "Last night I slept with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight, and you can go in and sleep with him so we can preserve our family line through our father." So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and slept with him. And again, he was not aware when she lay down or when she got up. Okay, so once, but you don't wake up going, "Oh, I was so drunk, I don't remember what happened. What happened last night, huh?" No, not at all. You don't feel different after not getting any for a while. You don't feel any different, Papa Dukes? So much so that you do it again? So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The older daughter had a son, and she named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites today. The younger daughter also had a son, and she named him Benami. He is the father of the Ammonites of today. Now, what's so funny about this is, do y'all know who the Moabites are? So the Moabites are huge enemies of the Israelites. Huge. So it's so weird that they have a child of incest become the biggest enemy of the Israelites. Is there something in this? Is there some, can y'all help me? Why? Is it not weird? So the Moabites. Do y'all need me to go off on the Moabites for a hot minute and tell you who they are as an enemy to Israel, or should I just keep going with this story? Because my brain, I can just go 20 different places when it comes to this stuff. So maybe I should just keep going here. If you have questions about the Moabites, let me know. Okay. Genesis 20. Oh, wait, or is that it? No, I think that's it. No, okay, sorry. So that is it when it comes to the story of Lot and his two daughters. But you see how insidious it is. Abraham begs for the righteous people to be saved. And God's like, yeah, if there's 10 righteous people, I'm going to save them. And there were at least 10 righteous people in there, because there were women who did not come to that door. And there were babies who did not come to that door. There were pregnant women who did not come to Lot's door and knock it down, who were killed. So, I mean, that's a story in and of itself. I don't know what that means. Is that just a proof okay, you can't trust Yahweh, you shouldn't trust Yahweh? It's weird because they go back and forth 5 times, from 50 down to 10. This many people. Yes, I'll save them. This many people. Yes, I'll save them. Anyhow. And when Lot and his wife and 2 daughters are pulled out of the city, the angels have to grab them by the hands. They get dragged out of the city. So I'd like to know where they have the supplies to live, number 1. And number 2, enough supplies of wine that they're just getting drunk. They were just carrying jugs of wine, fleeing the city. It sounds like they fled with nothing Like they had nothing. I mean, I know this is just a picture, but the picture, not carrying anything. They're just running. So they have supplies to live in a cave with their father. And their father has led them to believe that there's no other people around. So their father, Lot, should I put it back on the picture? I'm going to put it back on the picture. How do I share? I want to share. I don't know how to share. Oopsie. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. What did I say? What was I just saying? Okay, yeah. So they have supplies to get drunk. Their fathers led them to believe there's nobody. I mean, why else would they do such a desperate thing? And here's my issue too, is this is not normal. Like they made laws against this because of these incidents. The Israelites made laws about incest and marriage and shit like that because of these stories. So I really don't understand the purpose of teaching children to have sex with their father, to get their father incapacitated. Now, incapacitated enough that he's blacked out with drunkenness, supposedly, but not enough that he can't get, can I say erection? So he can still get an erection. And I'm not saying that drunk dudes can't get an erection, but if you're blacked out drunk, I mean, is there men in the audience that can tell me, like, if you're blacked out drunk, are you able to like keep it up? Because it just seems like it would be a little more difficult to keep that thing going, right? And Lot frustrates me because not only did he lie to his daughters about being the only people on earth, he knew that he could have gone to Abraham. He knows where his uncle lives. He knows he has land. He knows he has food. And now that now that Lot's entire, because Lot had a lot of people with him. He must have had servants and other loved ones with him, because if you remember, Lot and Abraham separated because it was too many people on one piece of land, if you remember that. So now Lot was only 3 people. There was nothing about him and his 2 daughters that would have been too much for Abraham to take in, considering he just lost everybody. In fact, I mean, if Abraham was the one that saved his life, he would have been happy to help his nephew. There's no reason. I mean, there would have been, if anything, there's probably men there in Abraham's encampment that would have wanted to marry. Not that that's any better, but at least it's not your father. Oh, this story is so sick. Okay, I think I've said all I need to say about this one. I think I've droned on and on. But I thought it was important that if y'all haven't noticed some of these points in there, that now, y'all, the biggest part of this is Sodom and Gomorrah, right? The sin of Sodom and Gomorrah has nothing to do with sex per se. It has to do with the treatment of people, assaulting people, robbing people, not feeding people, not clothing people when they need it, when they are the most desperate, broken down outside of your village. You beat them, assault them, and steal from them. And that is what was happening in these cities. It wasn't just about the act, it was about the humiliation. It was torture. They would torture these people. So when the Bible tries to make it about homosexual sex, it doesn't even make sense. It has nothing to do with it. There is a scripture. Hold on, I need to find it. I have it in my notes. I just probably have to look up Sodom. Ezekiel 16:48. Ezekiel 16. Hold on one second. I see it there, but I thought there was something else. Oh, it's right there. It's right below it. I just didn't scroll enough. Okay. As surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, your sister Sodom and Gomorrah never did what you did and your daughters have done. So right here, God is saying that it isn't that like it's bad, but Israel has done worse. Okay. So people like boop, 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 boop about Sodom and homosexual. And God even forgives. Hold on. Now, this was the sin of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, unconcerned. They did not help the poor and needy. They were haughty and did detestable things before me. Therefore, I did away with them, as you have seen. Okay? That was their sin. However, 53 states, I will restore the fortunes of Sodom and her daughters of Samaria and her daughters, and your fortunes along with them. Just to show you that I can, basically. Just so you feel dumb. Dumb. Da-da-dum-dum. So I get so fucking irritated when I hear people say that Sodom and Gomorrah is destroyed. Here's my lip balm. That Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of homosexuality. Nah, you dumb. It don't even say that. You pulling shit out your ass. You apologetic. You're fucking dumb. Read your fucking Bible or let me read it for you. Haughty, arrogant, overfed, unconcerned, did not help the poor and needy. Bitch, you need me to clap louder. Or just being funny. So here's the sins. Please, can you tell me where it says sticking a dick in a... It's not what it's about. You're stupid and you don't know your Bible. So, and that scripture is echoed somewhere else in the Bible too. It mentions the same again. And there is another example in another city of a same thing happening, of a stranger in a strange encampment. And this time around, he gives his daughter and his maid servant or something, and they assault them all night and they die. Or he gives his wife, whatever. But it's the same instance, but this time it's a female that's assaulted. I thought you said it was about homosexuality. No, it's about power struggle. People will tell you that assault isn't just about the sex act. It's about power and control, hurting people. Okay, I know I'm just going on and on. Excuse me, where have you been, sir? Sir. It's been a long time since I've seen you. How you doing? I've missed you. I hope everything's going well. Yeah, Lot and his girlfriends, right? I just went over about how the whole story is bogus, and I've already done Dinah. So I did Dinah, I've done Lot, and I think the next one I probably should, since this is a month where women are losing, well, hold on. Let me rewind that. Women in this country have never been ratified to have rights. So we've never had rights. That's why women of color are being sterilized. They're being murdered at a higher rate. That's why they die during pregnancy at a higher rate. So basically, this country has always been against females. And unfortunately, it's just now that me as a white woman is waking up and realizing it's affecting me. I'm being truthful. It's just the truth. People of color have been dying since this country's inception for our freedoms. And I've just sat around and enjoyed it. And now that I'm losing my precious freedom, I'm ready to stand up and fight. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, it kind of is what happened. But this country has always been a shithole. And you can eat my ass if you disagree. But we can make it better because there's so many good people. Like, I love all my new friends. I really, really do. Where's Jephthah's daughter? I think that's more towards the back because that's another one where, no, that's too far. Where a girl loses her life. You know what? Hold on, y'all. I'm just going to, oh, here she is. Ha ha ha, Jephthah. Now I got to find it. Oh, you're moving house. Yay. Oh, good, good, good. Good, good, good. We'll have to do some stuff together. It is. It is. I mean, everybody suffers. I say it all the time that the patriarchy hurts men too. Like misogyny hurts men too. It really does. I'm not blind to that fact. It really is. The Christian nationalists in this country are terrifying. Like they want to go to war for this. Oh my God. It's just fucking, it's horrible. Okay. So Jephthah's promise. Let me find. And then this might be my last story. Can I do a search on here to find it quicker? There's Moses.
Oh, look at white baby Moses. He's such a cute little blonde-haired baby. Moses with the Egyptian name with the white skin. He's so cute.
Obviously, I'm being super facetious. Not that there weren't white people in Egypt. Obviously, I'm sure there were. But his name's Moses. I mean, come on. The fuck? Moshe. I'm sorry, y'all. Seems way harder to scroll on here. Oh, look. Hey, y'all, there's Asherah. Did y'all know that's Asherah? That pole there with the snake? That represents Asherah. So anytime you see that Nehas or whatever the snake's called, it's Asherah. That's my bae. That's the goddess. That's that one. Jephthah, where is your promise? Jephthah, where is your promise? Do we even know her name? I think there's like some obscure way. Here's two lesbos. Yes, Hunty. Naomi and Ruth. Yeah. Ruth didn't look like that. Naomi didn't look like that. She was a bit younger. They were getting it on. Trust and believe. That was totally a gay relationship. Here we go. Jephthah's promise. Darth Magog, how you doing? How you doing? Good morning to you. Your favorite part of the Moses story is how the only black girl
is the queen's slave.
Fuck me. Right? it drives me nuts that well, no, it shouldn't drive me nuts. I was a kid. I had no idea, but these things stay with you and you believe this stuff. Like I probably believe that stuff. Another lovely story for children. Yeah, I think that if you find her name, it's from like Mishnah or Talmud stuff. So it's oral tradition, which doesn't mean it's unfounded, but anyhow, okay. So Jephthah's promise. Here we go. Let's read Jephthah's promise. And if y'all have anything to say, or if y'all want to join, I don't know what y'all are doing, but if anybody wants to join me, I'm just, yeah. Okay. Have you ever made a promise and later found it hard to keep? Because that's what it breaks down to. It's just if you make a promise and now it's hard to keep. I said I wouldn't eat cake, and now I want to eat cake. The man in the picture did, and that is why he is so sad. The man is a brave judge of Israel named Jephthah. Jephthah lives at a time when the Israelites are no longer worshiping Jehovah. They are again doing what is bad. So Jehovah lets the people of Ammon hurt them. Let me read that again. They are doing what is bad. So Jehovah lets the people of Ammon hurt them. This makes the Israelites cry out to Jehovah. We have sinned against you. Please save us. So instead of just not having them be hurt by Ammon, they now have to fight. Okay. The people are sorry for the bad things they have done. They show that they are very sorry by worshiping Jehovah again. And so again, Jehovah helps them. Boy, it's always that like love, hate, abuse relationships, right? There's always that back and forth. It's so freaking weird. Let me get the little, how do I do this? I just click this, right? Isn't this the link? Copy. Paste. I think that's it. We'll find out. All right, so let's hold off a second on Jephthah's promise. But what I will do is pull up Judges, because that is the next scriptures that contain Jephthah's promise. Judges 10, because he was a judge. And isn't it interesting that oh shoot. Oh, you jerk. Who's the judge of Israel that's a female? Oh my gosh, my brain just farted and I can't remember who it is. But there's a female judge of Israel. And they really don't talk about her. Was she even in here? No, I bet she wasn't. I bet they didn't mention. Because they can't bring too many powerful women. We don't want the women to rise up and realize how strong they are. What's everybody doing this morning? Anybody doing anything important? I got to walk my doggy. That's what I got to do next. I usually walk him around 9. Oh, hold on. So I've been sewing. So for a while I wasn't sewing because, hold on, let me put my picture back up here. So for a while I wasn't sewing because my machine had broke. So I was kind of missing sewing. So last night I made this tank top and all the raw, as you can see, the raw seams are out. And I just it's just a stretchy little tank top, but I made it look kind of like a bustier almost. That's just seams. That's a hiccup, sorry. Well, I have another one. Okay. It went away. I have weird hiccups. And then I made this top, which is a little bustier top yesterday also. And now I started Help me, Jesus. I started on another one, which is going to be out of this green palm leaf. I think that's palm leaf fabric. So it's going to be the same as this, just in the palm leaf. I don't know if I'll do anything different. I might add a ruffle at the bottom, like just a big ruffle at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know. But, oh, you know what? So while y'all are here, I hope I'm not boring you too much. I don't even know who all's in here. I know Faithful and Discreet, Dave, Darth Magog. I don't know if Jay's still here. And look at the trees. But I was thinking of opening Wake and Bake. I was thinking of starting a new YouTube channel just for sewing. Because I posted a sewing video and it really hurt my views. And I wouldn't normally care, but I really do want to get to the 4,000 view hours. So I want to put stuff up that people are going to watch. Otherwise, it's going to be just like not so great. So I think that on the sewing channel, what I might do is sew and tell cult stories. Like I might tell personal stories. I might maybe even tell other people's stories if they don't want to tell it. Like I could sew while I tell somebody else's. Oopsie. Present? Oh, you're here. Okay. Duh, present. Hey, Dandy, how you doing? Good morning. And then then I won't feel guilty. Like if I post something and my views go tank, because if they tank, then that means it will tank anything else that I do, you know? So I do have to be smart in a way. Okay. So I will let y'all know. Probably what I'll do is I'll start a new YouTube channel. Ooh, I'm sorry. I keep hitting the thing. And I will post it in the link to this video in the description. I will put the link so people can find my new channel. And that way and even if I just want to sew, I can sew and not feel bad about it because at least the content is the same. But the change of content, like I think on TikTok, it doesn't matter as much. But on YouTube, I think it isn't so good. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to go pee real quick. Do you care? I promise I'll be really quick. And I'm going to turn this on too. I'll be right back, okay? Y'all just tell everybody I'm peeing. If anybody comes in, just say I'm peeing. Don't forget to hit the like, please. I love you. Look at the trees. I'll follow you back. I follow people back, but I don't really know how to work YouTube yet. And following people back is a little bit more clunky. It's not just like click with TikTok, but I'll follow you back. Okay, I'll be right back. I made it back. Thanks, y'all. All you y'all hung out. You guys are the best. Y'all, I have to tell y'all something. I have been feeling so fucking lonely. I hate it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't usually feel lonely. I'm not a. I'm usually pretty good with just like talking to myself. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So it's nice to just kind of have people here. I appreciate you. Oh, you're Doomver, Northern Aggressor. I don't know if I know you as the Northern Aggressor. Please don't be mad if I forget that. I probably will forget that you're Doomver. I'm sorry, because I'm so terrible. Oh, Dan, you're not okay. You're in Colorado. What's it like in Colorado? Is Colorado like getting pretty cool with all the money coming in from the weed? Are y'all like doing big things up there, over there? How come you're up this early, Dan? Are you okay? Good morning, Josh. No, it's never too early for church. You know what we're doing, Josh, is I was reading my book of Bible stories. Did you, Josh, at some point I need to hear your story because I don't know too much about your story, but this is a book that I grew up with that has not all, but a lot of the books from the Bible illustrated. And even people who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses have this book. Good morning. How are you doing? What are you up to? Are your friends there? Are you having a good time? Yeah, I forget everything. I really, truly forget everything. It's like a secret power. Although it's not so secret. It's pretty obvious that it's the only power that I have. Oh, they're leaving today? That's so nice that you got to see them. Do they have kids too? I'm doing good. I was just telling everybody, I was like, I've been feeling lonely. And I think the reason I've been feeling lonely possibly is because it was so nice to be around friends and stuff and have things, talk about the things I like to talk about. So I'm like, I think I'm feeling it. I think I'm feeling the loneliness. The loneliness. Okay, that's right. You weren't traumatized by church. You just studied your way out of indoctrination. Excellent. Excellent. You've arrived, Darth Magog. Here's the link. I think that's the link. Darth, if I know what I'm doing. There's a pass. Oh, you're there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right there. How you doing?
Oh, am I in? I actually am in. It's an honor to join you.
It is an honor to have you, y'all. This is my friend, the one and only, the Darth Magog. Are you like the Gog of Magog or just Darth Magog?
That became my Sith name. I was dubbed Darth Magog because I am the enemy of Jehovah's Witnesses, or more accurately, the Watchtower.
I love it. I am their enemy too. Can we join forces?
Oh, it would be an honor for you to join me. And together we will destroy the Watchtower as, I guess not father and son. We'll have to try something a little different. Siblings. Yeah. It'll be lovely.
Okay, we can be siblings. I'm down with that. Right. I have a little dark blood in me, a little Darth's blood, if you will.
You can feel the power of the dark side.
I feel it raging through me.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Yeah, I like the hate to flow through me because I think that kind of directs me towards like knocking them down, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes.
I gotta direct my anger
towards them.
Destroy. Dandy says hello.
Hello, Dandy.
Dandy. Oh, why? The economy is pretty good. I'm retired, so inflation can be rough, but I'm doing fine. Cats. The kitty cats woke you. Kitty cats will do that. My puppy dog woke me this morning. So he needed me to get him up, get him fed. He had to pee. And then after this story, I probably have to walk him. At some point, he'll come down and let me know he needs to go.
Probably for the best. He's a good dog.
He's a good puppy wuppy.
He's the goodest of boys?
He's the goodest of the boys.
Good.
Would you like to read Jephthah's promise with me?
Oh, I would absolutely love to. This is probably my favorite fake story out of all of them.
What do you mean fake? I don't understand.
Oh, yes, sorry. History, not stories. History.
Okay, thank you. I got afraid for a second when you said that.
There's no apostasy here. Pay no attention to the 8 men behind the curtain.
Do you want to actually read it? Can you see what's on my screen?
Oh, I can do you one better. Accio.
Oh,
yes. Oh, you
got. Oh, yeah,
because
honey.
I
Okay.
am one of you too.
53. Open your Bible. Open your books to page 53, please.
Let me see if I can do this. This is going to be a unique challenge, I think, with the armor on.
Oh yeah.
I've never done this before with armor. This will be the first go around here, and of course they don't number all the pages in this.
Will the force be with you? Is the question.
I shall channel the dark side. I shall feel my hate.
Yes.
It's after Moses strikes the rock, right?
Yes.
Right after Ruth and Naomi, I think.
Yes, it's right after. It's like 2 pages after that.
Okay, so I got Gideon and his 300 men, who Jehovah backed up for some reason there, but then I guess promptly decided not to back up afterwards in the next story. Right. Not a weird thing at all. Definitely not a weird thing.
No, definitely not at all. I mean, he wanted the people to hurt him, to hurt his people. That's what he wanted. So
here it is, Jephthah's promise.
All right. Wow.
All right, kids. Uncle Magog's here, and we're gonna tell you a nice little story. Have you ever made a promise and later found it hard to keep? The man in the picture did, and that is why he is so sad. The man is a brave judge of Israel named Jephthah. Jephthah lives in a time when Israelites are no longer worshiping Jehovah. They are again doing what is bad. So Jehovah lets the people of Ammon, his basically his own people, or their cousins, because the Lot story, but we'll get into that later. This makes Jehovah carry. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I just said it's all connected.
All right, exactly. It's like Star Wars. Everybody's related.
Yes. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Yes.
This makes the Israelites cry out to Jehovah. We have sinned against you. Please save us. The people are sorry for the bad things that they have done, explicitly because they're being hurt, of course. And they show that they are sorry by worshiping Jehovah again. Oh, so they were apostates, but they showed repentance, so they won't be disfellowshipped. Lovely. So Jehovah helps them again.
Yes, so Jehovah changes his mind and helps them again.
Of course. Yeah, the perfect God has a perfect plan and arbitrarily changes his mind like a senator with it. Well, never mind. I was going to make a Coke joke here, but
well, I don't know.
I'm not sure if that's okay for this. It depends on. I guess it depends on who's lobbying that week.
Exactly. Right.
Where do I leave off? Anyway, Jephthah is chosen by the people to fight against the bad Ammonites. Jephthah wants very much for Jehovah to help him in the fight, so he promises Jehovah, if you will give me victory over the Ammonites, the first person that comes out of my house to meet me when I return from the victory, I will give to you. Which actually isn't true. He said the first thing in his household he sees.
What? So who makes that? Why is that the promise?
Yeah, why person? It's such a hyper-specific thing. That's a really weird thing to say, and God's like, all right, careful what
Not
you
the
wish
first
for.
Animals to come in from the field,
right.
or the first enemy to enter his land. It's
like the first person specifically. I know it's poorly like the story.
How many people were in that house? I want to know. Like was she was probably the only person in the house.
Well, I understand, I guess in the account he had servants or whatever. So even if he didn't need a person specifically, like he had servants, he was a judge, he had some imperial credits.
Who cares about the servants?
All right. So what did Jehovah do? Jehovah listens to Jephthah's promise, and he helps him to win the victory. When Jephthah returns home, do you know who the first one is to come out and meet him? It is his daughter, his only child. Really? The guy's a judge. He's got this money. He's a military leader. He's got one kid. Oh, my daughter, Jephthah cries. What sadness you are bringing me, but I have made a promise to Jehovah, and I cannot take it back. Except that Jehovah doesn't accept human sacrifice, except when he does, apparently.
Wait. Did he just say to his daughter, what sadness you are bringing me?
Yep, because she came out to see her dad come back for more. What a terrible daughter. I hope you've learned a lesson. If you ever miss your parents' children, don't come out and see them when they finally come back. You're going to clinically depress them.
How do you blame your daughter for the fact that you're going to kill her?
Well, you have to keep in mind she is a woman, therefore it is of course her fault. It's written right here. Shame on her.
She should have been born a woman, and then it wouldn't have happened.
Right? Duh. Or I guess a girl in this case, probably a teenage girl or whatever, but I don't know. Anyway, the point we're getting at is that the Bible is sexist. All right, next paragraph. When Jephthah's daughter learns about his promise, at first she is sad too, for it means that she will have to leave her father and friends. Well, it means she has to die, but will spend the rest of her life serving Jehovah at the tabernacle in Sheol. So she tells her father, if you have made a promise to Jehovah, you must keep it. It's a hypersplit. So Jephthah's daughter goes to Sheol and spends the rest of her life serving Jehovah at his tabernacle. 4 days out of the year, the women of Israel go to visit her there and have a happy time together. The people love Jephthah's daughter because she is a good servant of Jehovah. The end, probably. Absolutely nothing else happened.
No, that's it. She went to live a very happy life serving Jehovah.
Yeah, and kids, you can also serve Jehovah in a happy life. You can go to Bethel. That's where we keep records of things that definitely didn't happen and that we're leaving in Jehovah's capable hands.
Yes. Of course.
Nothing terrible happens there.
Jehovah first lets the people of Ammon hurt the Israelites.
Yes.
But then he decides to help the Israelites fight the Ammonites.
Of course.
It would have just been so much simpler if he just was like, oh, hey, Ammonites, chill. Like, just chill. But he just decided to fight back the war that he caused?
Pretty much, I guess, if you think on it. We really should bring up did you already bring up the scriptures while I was getting changed?
Yes, I did. Judges 10, 6 through 18.
This is probably my favorite bit over here.
Do you want to read that section?
Oh, I don't have that pulled up on mine. And
wait, hold on.
Some equipment.
Oh, don't knock over equipment. Oh, wait,
I need over my equipment.
I need to share that screen.
Move this out of the way so I don't knock it over. Knocking over all of my electronics is going to short out my implants.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Don't do that.
It's challenging being a cyborg, a vaguely binary cyborg.
Yeah, you don't want to short nothing out.
No, I have another video to record today. It actually got me up and running. So
good.
I figured while I was up, I'd pop in.
Well, good. I'm glad you're up and running. That way you're fresh. You got some stuff in your mind. You're ready to go tear down the watchtower. I'm assuming that's what you're doing.
That's the plan. I was going to try Force Lightning, but I think this time I might try Activism. It's a little less messy.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
We do love some people in Watchtower still. Well, I love some people in the religion still, I'll say. Watchtower itself, not so much. I should clarify that.
Yeah, no, I knew what you meant. Because I do too. I got family in and they're being hurt, which is what is hurtful to me. Exactly. Okay, so do you want me to read it or can you see what's on the screen? Okay, so Judges 10, 6 through 18. Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and they served the Baals and the Ashtoreths. Now that's actually Asherah. It's not Ashtoreth. That's like a shameful name. So they changed the name to be Bosheth, which is like a shame.
And they do mean like Baal, like the god Baal specifically, right?
Yep. Because there is more than there's a few. Well, there's actually like 70 or 60 Baals or something, but I'm only familiar with like 2. Okay, and the gods of
there it is.
It is. That's all I got. Oopsie. Okay, so and the gods of Aram, the gods of Sidon, the gods of Moab, the gods of the Ammonites, and the gods of the Philistines. And because the Israelites forsook the Lord and no longer served him, he became angry with them. He sold them into the hands of the Philistines and the Ammonites. Sold them? God damn, slave? Who that year shattered and crushed them. For 18 years they oppressed all the Israelites on the east side of the Jordan in Gilead, the land of the Amorites. The Ammonites also crossed the Jordan to fight against Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, Israel. Israel was in great distress. Then the Israelites cried out to the Lord, "We have sinned against you, forsaking our God and serving the Baals." So obviously, this is all because God is angry. The biblical God,
petty.
the biblical God is a petty son of a bitch.
Yes.
And he is jealous. So the Lord replied, when the Egyptians, the Amorites, the Ammonites, the Philistines, the Sidonians, the Amalekites, and the Moabites oppressed you and cried out to me for help, did I not save you from their hands? But you have forsaken me and served other gods, so I will no longer save you. Go and cry out to the gods you have chosen. Let them save you when you are in trouble.
Oh, I love this verse because it's like, oh yeah, you were going with that person over there. Let her take care of you. Let her take care of you.
You were cheating on me. That's kind of what it gives. Doesn't it give like jealousy? Like you cheated on me, you whore.
I think the other thing that really kind of, I love the fact that it casually canonizes the fact that there are other gods that are things. Just very casually.
And this is what irritates me when I hear people say that the Israelites weren't, because they changed. They went from, henotheistic and monolatristic, and then finally they got down to this monotheism. It wasn't some kind of, I don't know. Anyhow, it really annoys me when they try to say, "Oh, those gods weren't real. They're just demons." Like,
I mean, God thinks they're real, but it's okay if we don't think they're real.
Yeah,
because we don't want to. We only want to listen to God, I guess, when He makes a point convenient to our arguments.
100%, and that's exactly what they're doing when they do that. Okay. But the Israelites said to the Lord, "We have sinned. Do with us whatever you think best, but please do with us whatever you think's best, but please rescue us now." Okay. Then they got rid of all the foreign gods among them and served the Lord, and he could bear Israel's misery no longer.
Okay, just when they tossed out all the toys and the gifts that they got from other people, like Spylock the warrior wizard, when they threw out Spylock, totally fine. Like, okay, Daddy will help you now.
It's really a polemic. They're trying to just show them like, yeah, the having idols is bad. Idols having, it's so obvious. Okay, so when the Ammonites
could you imagine having like a big, like having some god's like image or specific thing plastered on literally everything you have, like everywhere, like on your cufflinks, on your website. I mean, right. Who would want to worship a god that requires all that anyway? I'm glad that the Israelites decided to get rid of a god, or the gods that did that, and serve Jehovah, the one true God who only has one logo and demands it everywhere.
Yeah, it's got or the JW.org logo. That seems to me be the new like idol.
It's the new cross. I'm telling. It's like, we love to tear apart the cat. I say we, because I mean, I guess I technically am still a Jehovah's Witness if we want to be hyper technical. But we love to tear apart the Catholics on the concepts of the priesthood, even though we use the same concepts, on the concept of not protecting children, even though we have the same problem, on the concept of idols, even though we have the same problem.
Right.
The hypocrisy is just staggering.
The exact same issues. It is. I agree. It's very staggering. Okay, so let's finish. When the Ammonites were called to arms and camped in Gilead, the Israelites assembled and camped at Mizpah. The leaders of the people of Gilead said to each other, "Whoever will take the land and attacking the Ammonites will be head over all who live in Gilead." So I'm guessing that's eventually going to be Jephthah.
Sounds about right. Foreshadowing.
Mr. Jephthah. How did we know? All right. Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty warrior. His father was Gilead. His mother was a His mother was a sex worker, a prostitute. Gilead's wife also bore him sons, and when they were grown up, they drove Jephthah away. You are not going to get any inheritance in our family, they said, because you are the son of another woman. So
Wait,
Jephthah,
but he had sons though, but so his own sons got rid of him because his sons didn't want him to have his grandfather's inheritance, even though they'd have a separate inheritance as grandsons. Wouldn't he
right?
be giving them the inheritance?
I don't know.
I gotta do my. I have to do my Darth. What?
What? I have no. I don't really know. This is something I would need to look further into.
I need to understand the cultural reason that he wouldn't get inheritance because his sons kicked him. How your sons kick you out of your house?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. How would you able to, because...
Oh, wait, hang on. I guess I misread that. I misunderstood that. So it's his brothers. Okay, his brothers kicked him out.
But if his father is the man in question, why does it matter who his mother is?
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, no,
because these men always have more than one wife, so I don't understand the...
And he's been living there. He's been accepted as a son, clearly either which way, so I don't see why it would matter.
But there's this common theme, you notice, of where like the one son is hated. Like Joseph, isn't Joseph the one who's sent away because he's hated?
Yeah,
and then there's another person I think who's also sent away because he's the favored. Oh, was it Esau and...
Yeah, because Esau and was it Jacob or...
Yeah, Esau and Jacob. Yeah, so it's like there's always this favoritism that we see in the Bible. It's weird. It's weird.
God is impartial except when he isn't.
Except when he isn't. Okay. So Jephthah said to them, didn't you hate me and drive me from my father's house? Why do you come to me now when you're in trouble? Oh, okay. So I guess they came to this guy after he's been...
So they hunted him down. They're like,
they hunted him down, like,
man, we're getting our butts kicked.
Now we need you. So why do you come to me now when you're in trouble? The elders of Gilead said to him, nevertheless, we are turning to you now. Okay, well, forget about that, bro. They're like, nevertheless, come with us to fight the Ammonites and you will be head over all of us who live in Gilead. So here's your prize. Look, we'll be your bitch. Just like...
There it is.
I don't know what it is that one person, what is it that this one person is going to be able to do, I wonder?
I guess he's like really, 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 really strong.
Okay.
Like he's like really strong. Like once I saw him pick up like 2 guys at a bar. He's super strong. Yeah,
I think I heard that he picked up a car one time when somebody got trapped under it. So I think you're right. Okay. Yeah. So Jephthah answered, suppose you take me back to fight the Ammonites and the Lord gives them to me. Will I really be your head? The elders of Gilead replied, the Lord is our witness. We will certainly do as you say. So Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head, commander over them. And he repeated all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. Then Jephthah sent message to the Ammonite king with the question, what do you have against me that you have attacked my country? The king of the Ammonites answered Jephthah's messengers, when Israel came out of Egypt, they took away my land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, all the way to the Jordan. Okay, so I guess that's talking about Jacob.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Because
so God's just tossing people's real estate out there, and they're not happy about it. That's basically
right. Like all these times where the Israelites are saying like, "Oh, the land was given to us by..." Like, no, you had to freaking kill people and they want it back. Yeah, they want their land back. Okay, so Jephthah sent messengers to the Ammonite king saying, "This is what Jephthah says." Say, this is what Jephthah says. Israel did not take the land of Moab or the land of the Ammonites, but when they came out of Egypt, Israel went through the wilderness to the Red Sea and on to Kadesh. And Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom saying, give us permission to go through your country, but the king of Edom would not listen. They sent also the king of Moab, and he refused. Again, like I said, and like you had said, the Moabites end up being big enemies of the Israelites. So that whole story throws me. So Israel stayed at Kadesh. Next, they traveled through the wilderness, skirted the lands of Edom and Moab, passed along the eastern side of the country of Moab, and camped on the other side of the Arnon. They did not enter the territory of Moab, for the Arnon was its border. Then Israel sent messengers to Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon, and said to him, "Let us pass through your country to our own place." Sihon, however, did not trust Israel. Wonder why? To pass through his territory. Because everything they passed through, they
kind of stole a little bit.
I mean, come on, right? He mustered, there's got to be a reason. Stop playing victim here. He mustered all his troops and encamped at Jahaz and fought with Israel. Then the Lord of the God of Israel gave Sihon and his whole army into Israel's hands, and they defeated them. Israel took over all the land of Amorites who lived in that country, capturing all of it from the Arnon to the Jabbok and from the desert to the Jordan. Now, since the Lord of the God of Israel has driven out the Amorites before his people of Israel, what right do you have to take it over? Will you not take what your God Chemosh gives you? Likely whatever the Lord our God has given us, we will possess. Are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever quarrel with Israel or fight with them? For 300 years, Israel occupied Heshbon, Aror, the surrounding settlements, and all the towns along the Arnon. Why didn't you retake them during that time? I have not wronged you, but you are doing me wrong by waging war against me. Let the Lord, the judge, decide the dispute this day between the Israelites and the Ammonites.
So I guess they also believe in other gods too. So everybody believes actively in other gods. They're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and let or Jehovah, or Yahweh, whatever you want to call it. Let's go ahead and let him toss the coin on this one.
Right.
Even the bad guys are like, yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, right here it even says, who is talking in 23? Now,
that's a good question. Then the Lord gave Shion, whole army. I think this actually might still be Jephthah's messenger.
Okay. So Jephthah is saying, will you not take what your God Chemosh gives you? So Jephthah believes in Chemosh. Jephthah believes that Chemosh is the god of Moab, which he is, that nation's god. Oh, it just freaking pisses me off.
Everyone's got their dude, I guess, except when they don't.
Right. Ugh. It just bugs me. Oh, that's such a good scripture. I need to remember that because I'm going to bring that up. And when it comes to, monotheism, I need to put that in people's face. Okay. Should I still keep going here?
Oh, let's. We should probably get to the. I mean, should we jump straight to the fight? Yeah, we should totally jump straight to the fight.
Where is that?
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're almost there. A little farther up. Oh, can I do the?
Yeah.
I think it starts up on the next one. That's the Jephthah. Okay, there it is.
Oh yeah, then Jephthah. Okay, good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I think starting at verse 31. Actually, we should probably scroll up just a teensy bit more. All right, there it is. Then the Spirit of the Lord came onto Jephthah. He crushed Gilead and what is that? Manasseh, and passed through Mizpah of Gilead, and there he advanced against the Ammonites. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord: if you give the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me when I return in triumph from the Ammonites will be the Lord's, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering. Then Jephthah went over to fight the Ammonites, and the Lord gave them into his hands. He devastated 20 towns from Aurora to the vicinity of Minnith, as far as, Abel Karim? Thus Israel subdued Ammon. That's a lot of places for just being Ammon, but that's what's up. Fair enough.
Right?
That's pretty awesome. He's like, 20 dudes. I took out 20 towns by myself, bro. Bragging rights.
Right. He's just like, bah, 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 bah.
Putting them down left and right. When Jephthah returned to his home in Mizpah, who should come out to meet him but his daughter, dancing around the sound of timbrels? I think that's some sort of primitive tambourine.
Yeah, like
yes.
hand.
Yeah. She was an only child, except for her, he had neither son nor daughter. When he saw her, he tore his clothes and cried, "Oh no, my daughter, you have brought me down, and I am devastated. I have made a vow to the Lord that I cannot break."
Oh no, Jephthah. It's going to kill her.
"My father," she replied, You have given your word to the Lord. Do to me as you promised. Now the Lord has avenged you of your enemies, the Amorites. But grant me this one request, she said. Give me 2 months to roam the hills and weep with my friends, because I will never marry. You may go, he said, and he had let her go for 2 months, and she and her friends went into the hills and wept because she would never marry. After 2 months, she returned to her father, and he did to her as he had vowed, and she was a virgin, probably, maybe. From this comes the Israelite tradition that each year the young women of Israel go out for 4 days to commemorate the daughter of Jephthah the Gilead, who doesn't get a name, even though she was the one that's the sacrifice, and they're doing a whole festival around her, but she can't have a name.
Thank you. That's why I always get frustrated when people don't realize how one-sided these stories are. They are not at all from a perspective of a female. That's for sure.
Oh, like it's so confusing sometimes. You're reading through it, and it zigzags it so hard. Like sometimes you get to be the main character as a woman. You get to you get the book of Ruth, and that's the whole thing over there. Then other times it's Potiphar's wife, Potiphar's cougar wife, or whatever.
Oh yeah, when she's attacking, was she the one who tried to?
Yeah, she was the one that tried to assault Joseph. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
So that's a whole thing there. Then
or the one who puts Baptist's head on a platter.
Yep.
I mean, I can't remember who she.
Not offhandedly. And what's it? Dinah gets a name, and although I guess her whole spiel is that she also gets assaulted, so that's a whole thing.
That's the first story I did this morning.
Oh yeah, I might have still been asleep. I'm on kind of a West Coast sort of schedule here, so it's a little earlier for me. I know.
How dare you? No, I'm just messing with you.
Let the hate flow through you.
Yes.
It gives you strength.
You should be awake when I'm awake. But that whole premise of, because what we're told is that she gets the honor of going to live at the temple.
Yeah, the tabernacle. She gets to go to Bethel.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's really what this is an allegory for, God. As far as I'm concerned at this point.
Oh, God, yes, because she will always be a virgin. I mean, really. But the likelihood is that she's probably was a sacrifice. Really? I mean, that's what they did. That's what Abraham was going to do.
Yeah.
That's what the king of Moab did.
Yeah.
When he sacrificed his son when the Israelites were attacking. So this was not unheard of. That's why.
We should go back up to that verse where it says, "You can have the first thing that comes out of my house." Does he say thing or first?
Where was that? Which part was it? Was that the first?
I think it's next. No, it's in here. If we go back down to verse 30, I think.
Oh, my bad.
There it is.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
there it is.
If you give me the Ammonites into my hand, whatever comes out of the door of my house. So whatever comes out of the door. So in the house physically, specifically. Okay, so Jephthah kind of did this to himself. Not the first thing he saw on his property, because that's where all the animals. So would they be keeping the sheep and the goats inside? Is that a thing they do? Would they have? Would they have? Wait, did they?
Yes.
Okay,
they had separate. Yeah. So like sometimes it would be like 2 layered, and the animals would be in one section, and they did all the time. But they did keep them
in their houses. Okay, so that does make sense in context then, I suppose. So that's what context is important, kids, because otherwise this would have been
because
the most ridiculous
animal
story.
Could have come out,
right?
But still, well, he said thing. Yeah. Okay, so
he probably didn't mean a person specifically, but just whatever he saw roll out there. So I guess he assumed it would be an animal, maybe.
But the timbrels came out.
All right. Oh yeah,
that's a thing. Her dress came out.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
True.
I mean, her bracelets, her ring. They could have made a donation to the temple.
All right. Yeah, and that would have been that.
How could God be angry at the fact that it was a thing? I mean, words are spells, so words are specific. Like
exact wording. That's the whole concept behind I guess most of Wiccan witchcraft and also Yu-Gi-Oh. That's another thing. Exact wording.
But that's. I mean, I have a little woo in me, and I kind of feel like if I all day said I'm a piece of shit, I suck, I honestly would probably make pretty bad decisions throughout my day, wouldn't feel so good about myself. It would affect who I am as a person. Words are important. If I walk around saying, "Oh, you're good, you're doing good," I would probably feel better about myself. So
Keep the positive energy flowing. Yeah.
words do, the force is in you, right?
Yes.
So positive energy and that kind of thing, words are important. So if he said thing, I'd been like, "Oh, here you go, Dad. Here's some timbrels."
Right. All yours, Pops. Enjoy.
And he would have been like, oh, damn, you got me.
Cool.
I mean, who knows if he wanted this?
Loopholes.
He might have wanted to get rid of her.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Also, I love the fact that God can come down to him and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and give you, I got you on the victory and all that, just keep your promise. And also apparently Jehovah hates human sacrifice, but he didn't decide to take the extra time out of his day to just pop down there and say, hey, don't burn your kid. Just go ahead and go look for the next thing in your house. A sheep's coming out. It's fine. Just give me the sheep. We don't do the human sacrifice thing. You know this, you terrible apostates.
Damn it. This is not what I wanted. This was not my intention. I wanted
I want some barbecue.
I wanted a woman. I wanted a child. Well, they don't say that she's a child, but I would assume
people did live at home a lot longer back then. It was a lot more common for them to live at home and keep families together at that point. And she was his only kid, wasn't married, so
you're right. So it doesn't necessarily mean that she was that young, but I would think if she's a virgin, I don't know. Anyway, does it matter? She could have been a baby. What matters is that he was like, out you go, kid.
And then also let her go away with her friends, like by themselves. I mean, I guess she was probably like an older teenager or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. There's no real indication.
And so her friends go out to mourn. I mean, so this is a big deal. This isn't, I mean, if you're mourning for, come on, dude, 2 months? If you let me go on vacation for 2 weeks, I'll be cool.
Right. Well, from what I understand, now if I remember correctly, I did do some reading on this. It's partially because of the Israeli, Palestinian Jewish tradition there, where women bearing children, that was the life, that was the real life, so to speak. There, so culturally, it was understood that was supposed to be their whole big thing, and if she didn't get to do that because she was going to be burned as an offering and all that, I guess it would have been a bigger deal. It would have been like the rough equivalent to us, going to college, getting our degrees and all that, then finding out it's like, hey, our dad comes back from the army or whatever and says, hey, we had a great time, got a whole bunch of loot and all that. I know you just got your scholarship and all, but gotta kill you, and I gotta kill you right now. I'm sorry, because I promised God. So then we just, I guess, go to Vegas or something for 2 months and just enjoy that. Give me my inheritance right now. Go ahead and cash out my 401k or whatever. I'm gonna enjoy myself.
And this is it. Going out with a freaking bang. Yeah, if I was going out, I'd be like,
that's my headcanon for this.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It's just amazing to me that, I mean, she was just willing. That was her place. She was just like, nah, dad, don't be sad. It's cool. I got you. Whatever you promised, I'm gonna do it for the
poor
loyalty.
Poor Caleb and Sophia doing what their weird, vaguely European dad says.
But see, this is the thing to me. So people would say, did she have a choice? Is this a choice?
I feel like it's an ultimatum, really.
Yeah. I mean, she would have been disgraced. Her father would have been disgraced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not really a choice when it comes to kids and whether they're getting baptized or going to the Kingdom Hall.
Right.
Don't you want to make Jehovah happy? Isn't that what
the mom
I just
said?
Felt
that.
I'm so sorry.
I just felt that too. No, it's okay.
I know.
Okay. It wasn't. It wasn't even. That's a funny thing. It wasn't even my mom. It was my study conductor's wife there. My spiritual mom went out of her way. Yeah, she did a couple other things that I am not happy with her about.
I'm sorry.
But, it happens. It was just, it's part of it. It's in the past now. I've learned for it. I've grown and become a bigger person from it. So
Yeah, I mean, we've all got journeying to do,
exactly.
We've all got some shit to journey through. It sucks.
Yeah.
And what sucks is a lot of it is emotionally attached to like this kind of weaponry.
All right.
This stuff is weaponized against us.
Oh, exactly. Because it doesn't appeal to logic at all. I mean, we're sitting here, we're talking about this, like, hang on, that doesn't make any sense. Why would God do this and all that? I think your first video, your second video, when they were talking about the animals and all that, and how long it took and all, when you were doing the actual reading skit and all.
Mm-hmm.
I just through the lens of a child, it actually reminded me of an instance where I asked my mom, "Hey, how come Jehovah made a mistake when he made the T-Rex? Because we couldn't understand why the T-Rex arms were so small." And her only response to that was, Jehovah does not make mistakes," and just kind of left. She just left after that, and baby Padawan me was just kind of standing there like, but why is the arm so small? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
What does it do? Why would it do that? And also, where are they? The T-Rex. I mean, everything's
right. Why would they be gone?
How come I don't have a baby Velociraptor? What's going on?
Well, why would God create something just to it serves its purpose and then get rid of it? Doesn't that essentially mean that there's a possibility that at some point will serve our purpose and God will just see the need to get rid of us?
All things considered,
I mean, dinosaurs weren't important. They didn't serve a purpose. He didn't create them for a particular
but
reason.
Mosquitoes do, apparently.
Yeah. Thanks for the what is it that they spread?
Malaria. West Nile and
West Nile is what I was thinking, but malaria. Right. Yeah. Thanks for that, and the ticks. Thanks for.
Oh God, yeah, Lyme disease. Wonderful.
Lyme's is really fun.
We definitely needed that, but we don't need brachiosaurs at all. Absolutely not.
Right. Now, if they were here eating the foliage that maybe is where they're living, then that would be different. But we barely have any foliage as it is. So unfortunately. Oh, yes. My book of horror stories. This sure brings back some great memories. Let's tell the children all about the Bible. Surely this won't give them nightmares.
And lie about what the Bible says specifically, too. I think that's my favorite bit. It just makes it more palatable for small children. Because I guess they don't I guess it always confused me, too, like why they didn't have a children's program. My cousins grew up outside the religion. We got to see them because they were family. So that was the loophole that my mom exploited and my dad exploited too, actually. Though his side of the family was witness, or was Jedab. So that was fine 100% the way through. My mom's family was not, but again, we got to see them because they were family and all. And my cousins always described Sunday school. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. And I think we got to go like once and like, oh, this is easy. I already know all the stuff. This is so much more relaxing. And it's only the hour.
I got in trouble at Sunday school because I would tell them that Michael is Jesus. I was telling kids that Michael is the archangel is Jesus, and people are like, "What the fuck?" Like, yeah, he was created first in heaven. That's the first thing that God created was
and he made Michael. The rest of it.
Because isn't that what they tell us?
That is exactly what they tell us. They unabashedly, just because a couple people have other names too, and that's their theory.
Yeah, because they tell us that. Hold on, because like you said, my first story. If this one's to load at some point.
Come on, get it together, jw.org.
Come on, you silly little goose. This is on my. Oh, Jesus, help me, dear Lord.
Yes, this is about Jesus.
It scrolled way too far. La da dee da 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 da.
There it is.
Is this it? Yes, here we go. The first angel God made was very special. It was God's first son, and he worked with his father. He helped God to make all the other things. He helped God to make the sun, the moon, the stars, and also our earth. Yeah, so I was going to, because I was it's so hard to describe how my life was. But at one point, my mom left my dad, and when we were living at her boyfriend's house, I had to go to Sunday school.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it wasn't for long. It was like for a few months or something. I can't remember. Right. But yeah, Sunday school I thought was interesting. Like I didn't mind it, but yeah, I felt like I knew everything. Like you, I'm trying to tell kids, like, yeah,
Right.
this is how it went down. God created, he created Adam first, and then the animals, and then come to find out that's not the order that it was in the first creation
draft.
story. Yeah, in the first draft. Isn't that like how do they get by that? Is that why they tried to say that Jesus was made first?
I'm guessing so. It's not really clear. I mean, from what I've read, the little bit that I read, just approaching it from a theological perspective, it sounds like they were trying to abridge a couple different Canaanite stories, and that's what happened there. As far as the actual biblical canon, I'm sure they probably just said,
makes sense.
Hey, it's a general sort of thing, and then they wanted to get into the details, like it was supposed to be like setting the stage, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure what the writers were thinking. They were all on peyote, I'm pretty sure.
And I would not be surprised if they were on something. Well, I mean, we know that they were on cannabis.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Moses was smoking that up on the mountain, I'm sure. That's probably why he was up there for 40 days.
Come on now. How are you going to be up on that mountain? How are you going to be lost for 40 years in a desert?
Yeah,
a desert that's not even that big.
A 3-day walk. Or no, I think it takes like a week to walk from Egypt to Israel, straight up.
Yeah.
I think I Google mapped it once. It's something like a week.
It's not like, I could understand if you have that many people that it's probably going to take you longer.
Right.
But okay, so maybe it takes you a month.
Right. If even.
Yeah, because you have people with infirmities, people with bait. Like, okay, I could see that. But
pack everything up. The way I figure it, they packed everything up. They got it all bundled. They got it, then they got everybody in line. They took roll. Somebody wasn't there, so they had to take roll again. Then they told them, hey, we're doing ABC order. Come on, get it together. Then they took roll again. Then they finally started rolling. They got about, 3 minutes in. They're like, oh, shoot. Well, there goes the sun. All right, let's set up some camps.
Literally. By the time they packed up, it was time to unpack. So
40-day trip turned into a 40-year experience there.
And imagine if people's lives, so say their age was, the average age was like 40 years old. Right. People lived to 40 because, and I'm sure there were people who lived beyond that, but with infirmities and whatnot and starvation, you lived to around 40. So there had to be people just dropping dead because of old age during
Absolutely.
this.
Didn't they say that Joshua, it was like Joshua and like 9 other guys, they were the only men of Israel? I think they said that in one scripture, and then promptly after,
you're right,
they had an army of
when they went to go spy.
Yeah.
Yes, the 10 spies. It was him and 9 other dudes, right?
Oh yeah, something like that. It's pretty silly.
Yeah, and they go and say that the men, we look like grasshoppers. The men there were so big that we look like grasshoppers to them. So there's like, how are we going to beat them? And then didn't Moses get pissed off because somebody doubted that they couldn't, or God got pissed off because they doubted they couldn't beat these giants?
That's it.
I love Jim Gaffigan. Oh my God, Jim.
Stop smoking that burning bush there.
That burning bush. I love my burning bush. This is pen form, but this is my flower form in there.
Yeah, see, I just have it directly infused into the bloodstream through these. It's lovely. Makes it a little easier.
You're smart.
It's an amazing suit, I have to admit. Very expensive.
I imagine that probably. Do you have to like plug it in every now and then or something?
It's solar powered, which is a little bit of a problem because I don't go outside.
Yeah, I don't know if those LEDs are cutting it.
Exactly. That's the kicker there. So I should probably go touch grass later.
Yes, you might need to ground yourself. Yeah. I always have to go outside and take my shoes off and wiggle my toes in the grass. It feels good to me anyhow. I like to ground. Okay, so is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? I don't know if you got to get going or
I
whatever.
hadn't really thought of anything, especially. I just kind of woke up and like, this does sound fun. So I figured I'd armor up and join you. So again, thank you for having me on. This has been pretty fun. We got to do a
Absolutely.
longer stream one of these days over here.
Yeah. We'll have to.
We should do, as terrible as this is going to sound, we should definitely do how the purity culture, I think, affects, what should we do one of these days? Because it definitely affects women pretty negatively too. I'd love to be on a men's stream as a form of ministerial servants. That'd be kind of a fun one. So one of these days.
Oh, you were I don't know if I remembered that. You were
Yeah, I
from.
don't think I haven't told my story, and I probably won't for some time, honestly. I think it's
Okay.
pretty boring personally. I'm sure some people found it interesting.
Yeah, you think it's boring, but other people, yeah, we'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, one day you'll have to
they stole
share.
my girlfriend. They shunned my best friend. It's a whole bunch of weird things like that. That all
Oh,
happened, I think, within the course of like 3 hours. Really, it was this whole thing.
damn.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, yeah, I'd love to hear it someday when you're ready to share. But
Yeah,
I'd
one
love
of
to
these
do a live
days.
stream about purity culture because I mean that goes so deep.
I think we should. I think we really should. I mean, I think it affects. It was like on Jake's stream over there, and I definitely agree. It does affect women a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely it puts some of the young men and the young non-binaries, whether they're male or female, into a very very precarious position there. And
Yes.
that's what it should be. We should talk about why you're still a nice guy, TM. As an ex-Jehovah's Witness and how to get better. I've been thinking about that. I'll message you.
Okay, yeah, please do. Do you
I'm on the Discord with
I was just gonna say on the Discord. Yep, message
yeah.
me on the Discord. That
All right,
sounds
you got
good.
it, boss.
All right, so y'all make sure where else can people find you? So you have your channel, obviously, Darth Magog on YouTube.
On
But is there?
YouTube. I'm on Reddit now. I haven't started my Twitter. I wanted to do that so I can congratulate Darth McFree because he defeated the Watchtower. He defeated the Watchtower
I don't know if
Navy
I'm
in court
following
today.
them.
Oh yes. If you have you ever seen the Dubtown cartoons, the little Lego ones?
No, I think so.
Oh,
I
all
think
right. So
somebody
I'm
told me
gonna
I
make a
need to
video about
find
that
them.
today.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a video about that today. But yes, highly recommended. Does these very pointed parodies and satires of
Awesome.
Jehovah's Witness doctrine and culture. It's all stop motion Lego. It's brilliant. It's a crime. It is a literal felony that he only has something like 7,000 subscribers. I think he gets his wife in there, I think, or his girlfriend.
Oh, I gotta
She
follow.
voice acts for the ladies. I think his son does the outro and all that too. So he's got his whole family involved, and it's
Okay. Oh,
absolutely
that's
beautiful. So yeah,
awesome.
he beat them. He stayed anonymous, so he's still protected because they tried to
Okay.
get his name through the whole copyright strike thing. It took him 3 years.
Oh,
And he
oh,
demolished them. So they ended
oh.
up dismissing the case. Watchtower gave up because they couldn't get anywhere. So,
Oh yeah, I
to
gotta
Darth
follow it.
McFree, we
That's a
salute you, my
champion.
master.
Yeah, so please get on to Twitter then so you can tweet them and I'll have to
All right.
find them on all sources and follow them. That sounds dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
We shall tweet it or die.
Tweet or die.
Yes.
I would like to thank Josh, Dan, who else stopped? Look at the tree stepped in. Josh
I might be
Raw.
the little rascals sitting on each other's shoulders. There might be 3 of us. You don't know.
You never know.
You never know.
And I think, that's all right. Dave and Jay stopped in too. So thank y'all
Hey, guys.
for coming in. I appreciate it. It was good to see everybody. And let's do this again next Sunday. Let's do some more Bible reading with
Sounds like a level time.
my book of Bible stories. Come and join me. All right. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you soon. See you,
well.
Darth. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks
be
again.
well. May the 4th be with you.
And with you always.
And with you.